Hello and welcome back to the show. Today we've been talking with Brent Ford, owner of Benefit Wealth Partners, and we've been talking about a lot of things when it comes to investing. In fact, make sure you get to all the segments. We have so much valuable information. But what I want to talk to you about now, so we've talked about investing overall, we've talked about risk, sequence of return risk, inflation, but I've got a question for you. So say that I come to your office and I need help. I'm looking for guidance, I'm looking for wisdom. What questions should I be asking you when I'm interviewing you to handle my money?
I think when we look at ourselves as advisors, we're interviewing a little bit for the position of being kind of this long-term behavioral life coach when it comes to your investing. So I think you, as an investor, you want to find out if your advisor is adopting that as a philosophy, that this is a long-term relationship. So one of the things that we started doing a number of years back, because I thought it was constructive, was telling people how they fit into my business rather than me trying to tell you how I fit into yours.
That's an interesting take.
And I think it's helped people understand what my financial relationship is to their household. I think there's this kind of wolf in sheep's clothing that advisors are out to rip you off and to steal all of your money. And I assure you, most of the industry isn't like that. There's probably a couple bad apples, but there's bad apples that put brakes on cars too.
Exactly.
So in the context of kind of where we're at, I do think it's important to see if the profit motive of your advisor lines up with your focus. So what I mean by that, if your objective as an investor would be to walk into an office and to tell somebody, I don't want any advice, I just need somebody to execute the order, and I'm willing to pay you for that. Well, there's probably an advisor that would fit into that type of classification that would be really good for that. If your objective is walking into an office and having somebody to build a long-term relationship with, that's going to be a completely different financial relationship than the first example. You want to figure out what you are as an investor and then make sure that your advisor lines up with that as a goal. That is one of the areas that we talk about all the time.
So in that first scenario, I guess would it be the difference between somebody who's just a transactional, execute this versus having a relationship where you're talking and planning?
Exactly. It's a transactional relationship versus a relationship, or a long-term relationship.
Sure.
I think the problem that we see in the market in 2018, 2019, 2017 even, is we have transactional salespeople selling a long-term relationship and then not fulfilling that obligation on the back end. And that's the biggest thing that I'm rebelling against, one client at a time, is that you are paying for long-term advice. Let's make this a long-term relationship. I want to be connected to you as an investor at the hip. When you make more money, I want to make more money. When you make less money, I want to make less money.
Seems like that's pretty intuitive.
It at least puts skin in the game.
Yeah.
And again, when we kind of look at everything across the board, if we build our practice off of people that understand what our goals are as people, as advisors, what our goals are for our families and for our compensation and all that, all this stuff that goes in with that, I think we're building a relationship that gives leeway to both sides. So I'll take some bumps on the chin from my clients that aren't happy, because the trade-off is I have a lot of time and money invested in you, and I need you to be here for a very long time in order to get a payoff on that investment. And I think that's okay. And again, with our firm, we're not going out trying to acquire new money at the rate that maybe everybody else is, because we want to keep our service standard high. In the event that something happens, we want to be able to call all of our clients in a single day and not have to worry about it. So our objective isn't to take every single body that walks through the door and give you okay financial advice. Our objective is to make sure that the people that are walking through our door we resonate with, we fit really well together, and then build a practice based off of people that share the same values and the ideals of what long-term financial planning is kind of built for.
And that really makes sense with what you said in the last segment, where you talked about the fact that being a younger man, that you'll be in business for 30, 40 years. And so that when somebody comes to work with you, this really is a long-term relationship. And my gosh, if you don't really like working with someone. 30, 40 years would be a long time to be working together.
Well, absolutely. And 30 days is a long time to work with somebody if you don't like them. I never wanted to have a situation where one of my clients called and I looked at my phone and I went, oh man, this is going to be a terrible call, or I don't want to talk to this person. I want to be engaged in everybody's life to the capacity that your financial advisor can be engaged in your life. I don't want to be phony either, Dennis, and there's some variation on both of those things. I don't want to come across like I want to know everything about you just so I can tell you the next thing. I want you to be happy within your relationship, and then I want to continue to build our relationship from that point in an authentic fashion so that, again, we stay together for a long time.
Absolutely, that's awesome. So I'm sold. So how do I get a hold of you? How do I work with you?
The easiest way, our website, benefitwealthpartners.com, has all of the different ways that you can get a hold of us. Call our office, send us an email. We have a staff that's committed to getting out and getting a hold of people right away. And again, we try and keep our service standard as high as possible. But the easiest way, obviously, we're in this tech era now. The easiest way is an email that gets you probably the most prompt response. But again, we answer our phones still too.
Well, I'm sad to say that we're at the end of our time, because we always have such a good time talking on the show. And don't forget, you can watch full Right on the Money episodes on our official YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com, where you can get up-to-date financial news and insights from the top insurance and financial professionals in your area. I'd like to thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.